Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm gonna walk you through how to do habit tracking in Notion. I'll be showing you two templates that I've created over the years. The first one is a simple basic template that is great for beginners. And the second one is a more advanced template with more features and flexibility. So let's start with the first template. This is actually the one I've been using for 5 years now. What you're seeing here is just a demo page with some example data, but you can download this exact template for free from the Notion marketplace or check out the link in the description down below. At the very top of the page, you'll see a Read Me First section where I share links to my newsletter and some of my other resources to get more free templates and also support this channel if you like the content. Then you have two databases, Monthly Progress and Habit Records. The Monthly Progress database is where you can see your progress for each habit individually and also your overall progress bar for the month. Whereas the Habit Records database is where you store your daily entries. So let me show you how it works. Inside the database, we have several properties. First, we have the progress property. You don't need to touch because it calculates automatically using a formula. It shows you the average of how many habits you've completed on any given day. Then we have the date. Next, we have 6 simple habits you can track. You can rename them, delete them, or add more if you want. I'll show you how to do that in a second. There's also a message property which only shows something if you've completed at least half of your daily habits. So if you check off 50% of your habit, a little message pops up that say well done. Finally, there's a success rate property which links this database to the monthly progress overview. Now let's say you want to customize your habits. For example, maybe you don't want to track wake up at 6 a.m. but instead you want to track go for a run. You can just change the name and the icon of the habit. From that point on, whenever you check the box, it will track running instead of waking up at 6 a.m. if that makes sense. You can also add more habits if you want, or delete some if you only want to track 3 or maybe 4 habits a day. If you want to delete habits, here's the part you need to pay attention to because you have to update the formulas inside the progress property. Don't feel intimidated. It looks complicated, but it's actually simple. The formula works by converting each checkbox into a number. So if you choose a checkbox property, it's going to return as the same entry as shown in the actual property. So now what we want to do is to convert this data or this output into an actual number. So to do that, we will use the toNumber function. All you need to do is to enter the property name within the parentheses of the function. If the box is checked, it counts as 1. If it's not, then it counts as 0. And you can do this to every habit property you have. So maybe 4, 3, or even more. You just keep on adding things up like an equation. So this number will add up and you need to divide it by the total of the numbers you're tracking. So that will give you a percentage of how many habits you've completed that day. So for example, if you have 5 habits and you completed only 3, the formula will show 0.6, which you can format as 60%. If you complete all 5, it shows 100%. Now let's say you deleted a habit and you want to fix the broken formula. You need to go back into the formula and remove the reference to the deleted habit and then adjust the divisor that represent how many habits you have. So you change the divisor from 6 to 5. And sometimes the percentage shows a long decimal, so like 33.3333%. You can clean this up by using another function, which is the ceil function, to round it up, or the floor function to round it down. And don't forget, when you want the number to show as a percentage, you need to multiply by 100%. If you forget, it will round up to 100% instead the actual number. So once the formula is fixed, you can display it as a percentage or as a progress bar, whichever you prefer. That's all you need to do to customize it. Now let's go back and let's see the success rate, aka the monthly progress database. So this database is important because it connects your each daily entry to the monthly progress database, so that when you look back at the whole month, you see how consistent you were, which habits you were good at, and which one you struggled with. At the beginning of each month, you need to do a quick 2-minute setup. So you need to go to this database and create a new page for the new month. This is the power of databases, because for me, a simple checklist doesn't motivate me enough, because once I check something off and it's gone, I can see my history or my progress. So that was the first template. It's free, guys, simple and perfect for beginners who want to start tracking their habits without overcomplicated things. Another thing I forgot to mention is recurring templates in Notion. So instead of creating a new page manually each day, you can set it to repeat automatically. And to do that, just click on the new button, then the 3 dots, and choose repeat. From there, you can customize it to your needs, but since this is a daily habit tracker, make sure to set it to daily. Now let's move on to the second template, which is far more advanced. I've created this template because I realized that not every habit needs to be tracked daily, but what if you want to track habits that you only want to do a few times per week, like working out 3 times, something like meal prepping on Sundays? And that was frustrating for me because it wasn't showing accurate statistics, even though I was still meeting my targets. I've been using this template for a couple of months now, and honestly, it's been a real game changer. When you first get the template, the very first thing I want you to do is head over to the Start Here page in the menu bar, and this page will walk you through the initial setup. Things like setting your goals, creating your habits, and making your monthly progress page. It's basically a quick guide to help you understand how the databases work. So here's what the main dashboard looks like. On the left side, you'll see a summary for today, the number of habits you've completed out of your total, and a little progress bar. In the center, you'll see the main habit tracker grouped by routine. So below that, you'll see a monthly progress section where you can see how often you did each habit during the month. And below that, you'll see a weekly view, which lets you see your consistency week by week. Now let's talk about adding a new habit in this template. You simply click on this button right here and it will automatically create in the habit database. You give the habit a name, like for example, running. You can write a description if you want to remind yourself of the purpose behind the habit, or add any notes. You can assign it to a routine like morning or evening or even anytime. You can also choose the frequency, for example, 5 times a week, daily, bi-weekly, etc. You can also set the priority as high, medium, or low. You can add your monthly and weekly goals. For example, in a perfect world, maybe you'd like to run 20 times a month, but realistically, your minimum goal might be 10 times. And finally, you'll see the date start. This is the date you actually begin tracking this habit. It's important because all the formulas use this date to calculate your progress, strikes, and also the success rate. One thing I love about this setup is that habits you cancel don't disappear forever. They go into an archive. If later on you would like to start a habit again, you can change the status from cancelled back to active, and the habit will reappear. When you open the habit page, you will see many properties that work together to give you a very complete picture of your habit. You can see not only if you did it today, but also your streaks, your weekly and monthly progress, and your total history. So in the progress section, you will see many properties such as today's status. So this tells you if the habit is due today. It will say things like habit is pending or habit done today. Then you'll see your streak. This track how many days in a row you've successfully done the habit. If you miss a day, the streak resets. You can also see a current week, which shows the week in a calendar format, Monday through Sunday, with a little indicators for each day. It's a quick visual way to see which days you did or skipped a habit. You're gonna see also a weekly progress. So this bar, it fills up as you complete your weekly target. For example, if your weekly goal is 5 and you've done 3, you will see 3 colored yellow boxes out of 5. You also have your monthly progress, so similar to the weekly progress, but for the entire month. It compares your completed day to your monthly goal and shows you a percentage. Then you have a quick button that you can click on to when you've done the habit today. You change the status to done today, and it updates all the progress formulas automatically. Now for the info section, you will see a frequency property and a priority property. You're also going to see a status. So this tells you if a habit is active or canceled. If you cancel a habit, it will move to the archives, but it isn't deleted. You can reactivate it anytime by changing the status back to active. You have also the to do today. So this is one of the most important formula properties. It checks whether today is a due date for the habit based on your frequency and start date. If the box is checked, the habit counts toward today's progress. If it's unchecked, it won't affect your score. Then we have the done formula. This is your checkbox for today. When you take this, the system knows that you completed the habit and updates your progress bar. We also have 2 formulas to calculate how many times you did the habit since the start date and how many times you did it since the start of the month. Also, we have a cancel button. So if you click on it, you can mark this habit as cancel. And again, it won't delete it. It just moves into the archives. So you can restore it later if you want. We have also the summary relation property. This links the habit to today's daily summary page. So you can see an overview of everything you've completed for today. We have how many done roll-up property to see how many times you have done the habit. And finally, we have the date canceled. So if you cancel a habit, this property record the exact date. So you have a record of when you stop doing this habit. So now let's move to a technical side of this template, which is the frequency formula. So this template uses a formula to do today, this one, to decide whether a habit is due today or not. It uses a formula to check whether a habit is due on any given day based on your start date, the frequency you chose per week, and the specific days of the week you picked. So this way you're no longer forced every habit into a daily yes or no box. Instead, you can be realistic. Some habits are daily, but other can be weekly, monthly, or even seasonal. The system adapts to you instead of you adapting to the system. So that's the main difference between the beginner template and this advanced one. So, for example, if you want to run 5 times a week on Monday through Friday, the formula checks only those days. If you want to change the days, you can edit the part of the formula that has the days written in quotes. You don't need to touch the rest of the formula. So I know this formula seems a bit scary, but I'll show you only the parts that you need to edit. So you need to scroll down and look for the frequency that you want to edit. So for example, let's edit the 3 times a week. So you can see here, I've written down the days that I've chosen. So Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Let's say you've chosen 3 completely different days. So maybe Tuesday, Saturday, and Sunday. All you need to do is write down the actual initials of the day right here, only between the quotes. Let's move on to the monthly progress. So at the start of each month, I want you to do a bit of setting up. So you go to the monthly progress database and create a new month. Let's say September 2025. You adjust the date, you add the habits you want to track or you want to do that month. If you cancel the habit, you don't need to add it in here. And when you scroll down, you're going to see a step-by-step setting up to do each month. These templates also come with 3 pages, such as the goal setting, where you can keep track of your habit tracking goals, and also a quick vision board for your habits. But also a monthly and a weekly reflection pages. You can delete them if you do not use them, but they're there if you like to reflect on your progress. And last but not least, we have the cleanup page. So this page shows you if something is broken within your system. For example, if a formula isn't working because some required data is missing. It helps you correct error quickly. So that's it. We've gone through both the basic and the more advanced template. And honestly, the advanced one has been game changer for me because tracking streaks, percentages, and progress makes habits feel more like a game. And once I see the stats, I honestly don't want to break them. And a plain checklist never gave me that motivation, but this system does. So if you're new, you want to try a new habit tracking method, you can try the free version to get started. If you want a more power and deeper tracking method, grab the advanced one, and I leave links to both in the description down below. So thank you so much for watching, and if you found this helpful, please like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments what Notion tutorial you'd like to see next. See you in the next video. Bye!